We're taking you live, and this is in Ottawa right now. On your screen, a member of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers. They're holding a news conference right now. This is CUPW President Denis Lemelin, and we will listen in live.
And also on services to the public. Now, since that attempt to introduce this new technology, we have seen that service has deteriorated. So the health and safety issue and services to the public are very important, and that's why we put the issue on the table. And people must realize that the workplace, even with new technology, is a difficult one, a dangerous one, and Canada Post has not really addressed our concerns in that regard.
So we're on strike because we want to really push Canada Post to negotiate the real issue here. There's many issues on the table, but the work methods are so important because people are suffering, and that's something important. The letter carrier, when they go deliver the mail, they are forced back at work because they don't have enough time to work with the new method. And the public, there was a lot of misinformation, and people didn't know when they will receive their mail. So that's something really important that we have to fix. And I want to be clear to all the people in Canada Post, we cannot accept unsafe and unfair conditions. So that's really something important. And we really wanted what's happening in Winnipeg. It's really important. It's really give all for the future of the post office. We're looking for the future with this new technology, but this new technology must really address the problem, the health and safety problem. Donc,
so we're on strike in Winnipeg because we want to continue to put pressure on Canada Post and really force the corporation to resolve the concrete problems for workers on the work floor. That's what's important, and that's why we put this on the table, because the work methods that were introduced in Winnipeg have meant that workers have worked much longer in unsafe working conditions, and this has a significant effect on postal service, on services to the public. Often the public was unaware when they would be receiving their mail, for example, or their parcels. So this is a symbolic gesture, but at the same time it shows the determination of postal workers to really have good working conditions. And the fact is we cannot agree to work in conditions that are not safe.
And that is CUPW President Denis Lemelin at a news conference in Ottawa, giving us the outline of really a big issue on in the negotiations regarding Canada Post. And they say workplace safety is on the table. And the reason they have started their strikes, their picket lines in Winnipeg, is because that's where new technology was first introduced. Lemelin says they cannot accept unsafe conditions, and they're doing this to put pressure on Canada Post. The CBC's Marjorie Dowhouse is covering this postal story, and she joins me live from Winnipeg, where, as I mentioned, the workers are already on the picket line. Marjorie, what's the mood like there?
Well, there are a lot of people here that feel that they need to get their point across, the striking workers, that is. They've joined here with other unions to kind of get the message to Canada Post that the working conditions that Canada Post implemented here last fall are unsafe. Union representatives here tell me that since the changes have been made, they have seen a 15% increase in injuries to their workers here. Canada Post workers have had to carry multiple bundles as opposed to just one, and they're saying that this is actually a deterioration to the mechanics that workers actually feel right now.
Also, what's behind the strategy of these rotating strikes? And Marjorie, we're still waiting to find out what the next city will be after Winnipeg.
Well, the whole point of these rotating strikes is to kind of use it as a bit of a negotiation strategy for the union and Canada Post. As mentioned, Winnipeg is the first one because they've referred to this place as ground zero, because this is where the changes to the delivery and sorting system were made. They haven't quite mentioned which locations will be next, but they're hoping that by using Winnipeg as the first center that had legal strike action, they can kind of give Canada Post a little bit of a taste of what could happen to the country when it comes to mail service.
All right, thank you for the update, Marjorie. I'm sure there's lots more. We'll talk again. That's the CBC's Marjorie Dowhouse live in Winnipeg.